There's major breaking news in Florida in Donald Trump's classified documents case, but to give you some context, imagine you're new at your job and you ignore the wisdom of your elders. Depending on the job, it might not be a big deal, right? But what if you have one of the most important jobs in the nation and your decisions have implications on who runs the country for the next 4 years and the potential to undermine public confidence in the fairness of our legal system? There's some shady shenanigans going on in South Florida worth sharing, and it swirls around Judge Aileen Cannon. Aileen Cannon is the Florida Southern District Judge presiding over Trump's classified documents trial, and I'll reveal the advice she received from more senior judges and her response in a minute. But first, let's get to know Judge Aileen. She was nominated to the bench by Trump in 2020, so she's already operating under that cloud of ethics concern, and now she's continually attracting nationwide scrutiny. According to CNN, she presides over a small fishing and citrus community on the edge of the Southern District where she is the only federal judge. And now she presides over one of the most consequential and complex cases in America, the criminal prosecution of former President Donald Trump over his handling of the nation's secrets. Though the charges were filed in West Palm Beach, she was randomly chosen from a broader pool of judges in Florida's Southern District. Several attorneys who have practiced in front of Cannon said she rarely sees high-profile action. They also said Cannon's lack of trial experience, both as a lawyer and a judge, is apparent. In her 7 years as a Justice Department attorney, Cannon participated on the trial teams of just 4 criminal cases. And on the bench, she only presided over a handful of criminal trials. The AP reports she was thrust into the spotlight last year when she issued what many legal experts saw as an extraordinary and unusually broad decision to appoint a special master to review the documents seized by the FBI. As part of that case, Cannon temporarily barred federal agents and prosecutors from reviewing a batch of classified documents seized during the search. Her order was ultimately thrown out in a scathing opinion by a federal appeals court, which found she had overstepped. Newsweek reported that legal analyst Asha Rangappa said the judge is intellectually out of her league and is afraid of making any mistake, and the best she can hope for is that Trump gets elected and the case just goes away. And that former U.S. Attorney Joyce Vance also accused Cannon of seemingly desperate to avoid trying the case. And that Royal Palm Beach resident Richard Bryant, in a letter to the Palm Beach Post, said, "I am surprised she hasn't yet been dismissed in this case, though it's still available if she needs to make sure Trump does not go to trial. Cannon just knows justice delayed is justice denied. She will be judged by history, and it won't be pretty." So what was the advice offered by her respected peers, judges with years of experience on the bench? The New York Times reports that 2 federal judges in South Florida privately urged Cannon to decline the case when it was assigned to her last year. This, according to 2 people briefed on the matter. And in spite of these pleas, she chose to keep it. The Times went on to say the extraordinary and previously undisclosed effort by Judge Cannon's colleagues to persuade her to step aside adds another dimension to the increasing criticism of how she has gone on to handle the case. Overall, it seems that jurists entrusted with upholding the sanctity of our laws and the integrity of our democracy are increasingly falling prey to partisan loyalties and ideological agendas. This story, along with the conservative oddness that keeps streaming from the Supreme Court, keeps the crisis of judicial bias in the forefront. The long-term implications of this conservative takeover of our judiciary is concerning. It is not just a matter of differing legal philosophies, it is a threat to the very foundation of our democracy. Conservative bias in the court system is not just an inconvenience or a difference of opinion. It is a direct assault on the principles of equality and justice that define our nation. We cannot allow it to become another battleground in the culture wars. Let's make the courts great again.